Hello and welcome to Walker Tea Review. I'm Jason Walker here with a Wuyi tea, a tea from the Fujian province in China, from the Wuyi mountain area. I'm going to go ahead and get this started. I'm going to just kind of shake out enough to cover the bottom inch to inch and a half area of my 3 ounce-ish gaiwan. That looks pretty good. Let me set that aside. Add my water. It's been brought to a boil. Been cooling for around or a little less than a minute. It's an early boil, still got plenty of heat to it. Not a full rolling boil, so it should be a good temperature for this. You'll notice that a lot of tea, the teas that you see online will have steeping instructions, and I don't follow those. One, there's the issue of uniformity. What happens when you steep one tea at a different time or temperature as compared to that same kind of tea from a different company? And so you've got to pick some kind of standard for all of them. Second, a lot of tea companies will suggest the steeping time and temps that, of course, bring out the best, but that doesn't really tell the full story of the tea. What are its strengths? What are its weaknesses? If you push it to its extremes, how does it perform? So that's kind of finding a happy medium in all those areas, picking one way, sticking to it. When you taste and when you steep for yourself, you will find, even outside or beyond the steeping instructions on a package, you'll find that right element of time, temperature, and volume of leaf and water that gets you the cup of tea that you like. You also find that different vessels, porcelain versus glass versus clay, may also draw out different characteristics of a tea. This particular tea, let's talk about this now. RedBlossom Tea Company. This is their Heritage Golden Buddha. Now, Golden Buddha is, well, let me say it this way. First off, 2 ounces available for $25 on the RedBlossom Tea Company website. That's redblossomtea.com. RedBlossom is based in San Francisco. They're in Chinatown, Grant Avenue. Now back to Golden Buddha. Golden Buddha is a cultivar that was developed in the past, say, decade in Wuyi area at the Wuyi Shan Tea Research Institute, and this information is available on RedBlossom's product page for this particular tea. This tea was harvested in mid-May of 2011, so we're going to be coming up soon. It's March, coming up soon on the 2012 harvest of this. You may want to hold out for the 2012, or you may want to get both and compare. As a tea has been, like this one that has been roasted, sometimes at the beginning, if you get it fresher, it has a stronger, more pronounced roasting character. Waiting, say, a year, but not too long, that roasting character can kind of mellow out. So things to consider. Talking about this tea, as it is, 2011, looking at the dry leaf, the wet leaf, and the liquor. First off, they get a nice toasty, Cheerio, light kind of caramel sweetness coming off of this. Honey Nut Cheerios, caramel and toasted oats. Those are the components coming off here. A little bit of something that hints at sweetness, maybe like a red globe grape type of sweetness. It's milder. It's in the back, mostly toasty, grain, almost nutty type characteristics there. Pulling out a few of these leaves. Let me actually just use my spoon here. These are large, wiry-looking leaves, like in the Wuyi type of characteristic here. We've got that seal brown, that dark grayish brown type of color going on here. Let me just kind of look at some of the leaf sizes and shapes here. Of course, they're wiry, twisted along the middle vein of the leaf. A lot of these are an inch or more in length. You do have some that are, say, half an inch, kind of, but still twisted, not really crumpled, just kind of squeezed and twisted along that middle vein of the leaf. Yeah, that's what you see here. A lot as far as glossiness, no, this has got a fairly smooth, matte type of finish, not a sheen or shine to it. Yeah, that being said, I'm just going to move on now, talk more about the wet leaf. And of course, to do that, I'm going to have to pour here. Got my lid angled over to the side, so we've got a narrow gap. A lot of leaves should not slip out this way. And give it a nice pour, like so. Color looks nice, but I'll talk about that more in just a moment. Let me shake out those last few drops there. Okay. And give this a smell. Talk about the wet leaf a little bit. Toasty notes still coming out. Like I said, roasted element, but it's not, sometimes the roasting can get extreme. It can get kind of cigarette ashtray type of smell. This one, it does have a deep, fiery type of nose or aroma there. Yet underneath that, you get the hint that this is going to be sweet. This is going to have some kind of roasted or even grilled fruit type of a component there. Light, maybe like a baked peach is in there. Again, but it's subtle, it's light. If you were to bake, grill grapes, there's something like that in there. There's a heated grape type of component in there. Sweet, again, there are some sweet notes in there, whether that's a sweet grain or a sweet roasted fruit type note. Let's pull out a few of these leaves. The leaves have become almost a kind of a dark olive type color. So let me kind of unfurl one of these leaves. Leaves are largely intact. A little piece stuck inside this leaf, so I'm going to try to gently unfurl this. Information on the RedBlossom product page. If I checked correctly, oxidation they described is about 50%. This leave's mostly intact. It's got a little bit of missing area on part of the edge of the leaf there, and the bottom of the leaf as well. But not a lot of stem there either, like that little bit of stem that connects the leaf to the branch of the plant. Leaf portion here, you see oxidation, that brownish, formerly rust red type color along the edge of these leaves. Let me pull out just a few more. A little bit of stem piece there, although I say that the stem pieces, at least in this particular steeping, are few and far between. These leaves are, and the thing to note, they are unfurling fairly easy, yet they also feel fairly thin. They're not thick, dense, older type of leaves there. These are a lighter, like I said, more gentle. They appear to, they've got some resiliency, some elasticity, although they seem to, they tear fairly easily. So they're fairly delicate as well. So that kind of gives us a clue as to the age or the tenderness of these leaves. Set that aside, kind of move on here, give us a pour, talk about this liquor here. Let me give that a quick swirl, get some of the steam off of the sides. Hold that up, and it's a nice coppery, orangey, amber type color. Nice looking, rich color. Now this that caramel baked peach type of sweetness is really coming out in the liquor. The roasted component is mellowed. It's smoothed out. It's allowing more of that fruit type note to come out here. Give it a taste here. Even in the cup, again, nice, good color. Doesn't look dull or murky in the cup either. Now this steeping, this has a lot of the characteristic wu-yi type of, it's got a gentle silky type texture. It's got, again, that roasted, almost, if you could say, a caramelized honey. There's a bit of almost, again, like a roasted, heated, toasted honey type of component here. So it's sweet. It's got a light fruitiness there, something like a peach, maybe a roasted grilled mango in there, closer to a mango perhaps. Aftertaste builds up into a almost not quite citrusy, but a zesty type of sweetness. There's a little bit of a tart kind of spark to it. Texture-wise, it does, still in the aftertaste, I feel still like there's a coating on the back half of my tongue. There's almost this kind of gummy sweetness in the back underneath my tongue, in the back of my jaw. So it's almost like, it's almost like my saliva is starting to get gooey. It's a rich, jammy type of feel in the mouth, which is a positive, not something that should be looked toward or looked forward to. In the tradition of a lot of, say, your Da Hong Pao, your Tie Guanyin, no, I'm sorry, not your Tie Guanyin, your Tie Lo Han is what I'm trying to say. There are these kind of components there. So this is reflecting that neighborhood, those relative teas, those cousins of this tea. Positive components here. Aftertaste is starting to die off now. Off-camera tastings noticed as well. So this one has a lot of the components to it, maybe not as intense, maybe not as extended as some of the higher grades, but still a quite rewarding tea. An alternative, if the thing about Da Hong Pao as another wu-yi tea, Da Hong Paos often get imitated, or you may have a little bit of shui xian, wu-yi shui xian, you may have a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It all gets roasted together, and the name Da Hong Pao gets thrown upon it. And because it has that name, it sells. So if you are concerned that the Da Hong Pao that you're getting is not real Da Hong Pao, you would want to consider going to another well. Go to the Tie Lo Han, go to a Golden Buddha, go to something that you're more likely assured that it is what it says it is. So I would give this tea a 92. Nice components. Again, it's a newer cultivar. It's not going to be exactly the same as some of the others, but compared to, like I said, its relatives, its cousins there, nice qualities. So come back to Walker Tea Review to look at the teas, the cousins of the teas, the ones that may be your better alternative.